Компанія Nestlé побудувала нову фабрику на Волині. Це не просто новий майданчик, це інвестиція у майбутнє економіки та громади регіону. Виробництво вже розпочато.
There was a moment in 2019 when we presented the plan of creating a food hub, which means creating a combination of the two factories and opening a new factory and the existing one in Torchin, where we produce our sauces, our famous ketchup, Torchin. But the time was not right. So the project was a good idea, but the time was not right. Was December 22 the right time? Well, based on the needs that we have to develop, expand our capacity in noodles, to satisfy the growing needs, the growing trends of this type of products, that was the right time. And then the question came, of course, would it be in Ukraine or would it be somewhere else? We have all our plans ready. We have all our calculations. From a financial point of view, Ukraine or another location will be very similar. But this is where business wisdom, which was the decision of expanding the capacity, met with the ethical choice of Nestlé to say, we do it in Ukraine. Because if we open a factory in Ukraine, everybody will notice. If we open a factory somewhere else, nobody will notice. And that was our very important point. When the company shows that there is a soul in business decision and the commitment of Nestlé to say, yes, we are in Ukraine and we want to stay in Ukraine and we want to expand in Ukraine, that was a critical time. So now we can celebrate 30 months later the fact that we have created that dream, that was kind of a dream to have a food hub based on the west side of Ukraine, which is the perfect combination for us because we have all the capacity, the product knowledge, the competence, the product mastership of our people, and it's combined with the existing factory. So now we can maximize the capacity there. We can expand the supplier base because they are supplying two different factories, and we can create a propelling economical force in that region. Let's not forget, we still have a factory in Kharkiv, and our factory in Kharkiv is still producing, and we want to keep our factory in Kharkiv. We ask the best knowledgeable people, our best product masterships to move and help the development of Smolegiv. They will move there for a period of time or forever, they will decide, but we ask them to move in order to retain the product mastership, but that was a fantastic combination for us. So the decision was, I repeat, financially very, very robust and supported, and ethically very, very important.
How does the new Nestlé factory differ from the other company facilities?
We just started the production in Smolegiv, in our new factory. And this factory, first of all, is the first greenfield factory. It's the first factory that we have built by ourselves. So first of all, this factory is unique because we build it. Second, we build it by already thinking about the future. So it's a state-of-the-art in terms of automation, in terms of energy sourcing, because we have already implemented their ability to, in a sunny day like today, to work completely with regenerative type of energy, so with solar panels. And it's very important, the element of the safety. It has a state-of-the-art and advanced shelter systems able to work also during nuclear attacks. But what is more important is that the quality of the products that is there is just outstanding.
Why the factory is considered to be a benchmark?
It's a benchmark for everything what I said. It's high level of automation. It's fantastic for me to go to the factory and see that our operators, they are really interacting with the machines, but never touching the product. So in terms of automation is the highest level, which brings higher level of safety, which brings higher level of quality of the products because it's all controlled and monitored constantly. There is very little space for manual intervention. It's all controlled by the people. So the intervention of the people is on their knowledge that they know how to work with the machines. but the quality is granted by consistent production elements. The benchmark is also with the fact that the factory is self-sufficient.
And by the way, what is the capacity of the first line, and what your plans to expand for with second and third lines?
Oh, you're well informed. In fact, we started with the first one because we saw that it's possible to expand. So we have ability to put the second one, which is coming in 2026. And let's say this package of innovation will come at the end and beginning of 2027, when we will have around 25,000 tons of capacity. Depends also on the demand. We can expand it further. What has to be said is that this investment of 40 million euros that we decided to do in 2022 is already having its own payback. So it's an investment that we took. It's not the biggest investment that Nestlé has done, but it's an investment that we took with a certain level of bravery, but is already showing the payback.
Проект реалізується на майданчику площею 20 гектарів, де буде збудовано та реконструйовано понад 25 тисяч квадратних метрів сучасних індустріальних потужностей. Це не просто виробничий майданчик, це інфраструктурна платформа, яка відповідає найвищим стандартам ефективності, безпеки та сталого розвитку. Одним із ключових технологічних рішень стали, наприклад, новітні парові котли, які суттєво підвищують енергоефективність виробничих процесів. Це обладнання не просто відповідає сучасним вимогам, воно задає нові стандарти для харчової промисловості. Інженерна концепція фабрики базується на принципах довгострокової стійкості, цифровізації та гнучкості, що дозволяє нам адаптуватися до викликів ринку та водночас зберігати високу продуктивність. На фабриці встановлено фотоелектричні панелі, загальна потужність яких дорівнює встановленій потужності всього виробничого обладнання. Простими словами, це означає, що в сонячні дні ми можемо на 100% забезпечувати роботу підприємства за рахунок енергії сонця. Звісно, з урахуванням нічного часу доби та кліматичних особливостей Волинської області середньорічний показник використання сонячної енергії становить близько 20% від загального споживання. Проте, навіть цей рівень дозволяє суттєво зменшити вуглецевий слід і зробити виробництво більш екологічно відповідальним. Це не просто технологічне рішення, це частина нашої глобальної стратегії декарбонізації та переходу до зеленої енергетики, яка відповідає амбіціям Nestlé щодо сталого розвитку.
How many new jobs has created the factory and so far? And what are your plans for the future workforce growth?
You know, this factory, it's a kind of very important pride for me. Because we announced the start of the factory just 30 months ago. 30 months ago, it was just an idea. And 30 months later, it's operational. With, to answer your question, more than 300 people already working there. And by the end of the year, we will be able to produce around 5,000 tons of products, of noodles that we are producing there. 5,000 tons that are, in fact, will stay a part of them in Ukraine, a part of them will move abroad. So just a reflection, 30 months, is it long time or is it short time? For me, it's a symbol of something that is possible to do during the wartime. The amount of dedication that the people put to start the factory in 30 months is outstanding. Just think about one thing. We were not able, because the suppliers were not able to come to us to make the machines running in the right ways, particularly the silos. Therefore, we need to send our people into different places to learn how these machines can work, come back with the experience and start the machines. And this all happened. When we spoke about the network that we can create, we said 300 employees already in the factory, but you need to multiply by a factor of 5 normally in terms of job creation. So you can imagine 1,500 jobs creation more or less in that area.
Ми пропонуємо конкурентні умови праці, звичайно, широкий соціальний пакет, який максимально відповідає сьогоденню. Для професійного зростання, для розвитку ми маємо різноманітні програми навчання. І, власне, ці програми направлені на здобуття, перш за все, належних професійних навичків, навіть якщо ви нічого не знаєте від нуля, в тому числі допомагають майбутнім лідерам надолужувати і здобувати лідерських якостей. Отже, ми щиро запрошуємо приєднатись до нашої команди.
How does Nestlé support local farmers and how you help them to achieve their goals to improve their agricultural practice?
And that's a very important point. We announced that we want to go to zero impact on greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. To do that, we need to work with suppliers that they have the same type of commitment. What we developed together with farmers is what is called now regenerative type of agricultural practices. What does it mean? To make it simple, you know, the CO2 in the old way of doing agricultural practices, the CO2 is moved into the air, and therefore you release CO2 instead of segregating it into the ground. There are ways of making agricultural practices like, for example, covered crops or reduced tillage that fundamentally keep the CO2 in the ground. What does it mean for that? First of all, the ground keeps its own richness, because when you move with high tillage, you reduce the power of the ground. You segregate all the nutrients of the ground inside the ground. You can have it in two ways, either these covered crops, which basically are crops that are not utilized, but then they are staying there as a natural fertilizer, or reduced tillage. So you don't go so deep, you go just what is enough to seed, and this keeps the CO2 inside the ground. So we are working with our suppliers to increase this level of regenerative agriculture. We create education to them, because this is a completely new way of doing it. Second, we support them financially, because there are different type of machinery that is necessary, for example, for low tillage, so we help them financially. But I would say additionally, we take commitments to buy from them their harvest, so we create a very strong partnership. We create for them the ability to sell it in the future to other suppliers, because regenerative agriculture practices is not only Nestlé direction, is the direction that all multinationals are taking. And guess what? They are also able to learn more different practices so they can expand their business. So it's a very powerful way to cooperate. How we help the farmers? First of all, for us, it's very important to help them to reach our standards of quality. So we help them to develop raw materials which are at the right level of quality. Additionally, we help them to keep the consistency of that quality, because we cannot be good one day and not good the other day. Our commitment to quality is every day. And therefore, we help them to produce at a high level of standards, plus to produce it every day.
What about the partners? Do you have some prominent partners in Volyn region, or just in general in Ukraine, to cooperate with, to collaborate?
We just signed a deal on regenerative agriculture with Astarta, which is our major supplier of sugar. And they are really committed with us on executing the regenerative agriculture practices with low tillage and precision farming, reducing dramatically the quantity of chemicals, because there is very precision farming, as well as covered crops, as I was mentioning. We also are about to sign a deal with our wheat supplier, Zernari, a very important supplier for us, and we need a lot of wheat. We have also very important development with our supplier of frozen dehydrated vegetables, similar initiatives, similar idea. One program that is on hold for the moment because of their location of production is with our supplier of tomato paste.
In Mykolaiv?
We have a high amount of tomato paste utilization, but we cannot go there and help them on the spot, because it's a dangerous area. But we know Inagro is committed with us for the future to regenerative agriculture. Here we have highly developed farmers, super technological. I was in a tractor with one of them, and I could see that the tractor was driving by itself, completely driven by...
Here in Ukraine?
Yes, absolutely, with the GPS. And I said, why do you need a driver? Well, I need a driver because I don't want the tractor to be taken by somebody else. But in reality, the tractor can do all the job by itself.
Основним інгредієнтом в нашому продукті є борошно. Воно складає до 80%. Тому це серце нашого продукту. Основні наші локальні постачальники, такі як Зернарі, Ельдорадо, відповідають високим параметрам якості і забезпечують нас спеціально вирощеною, підібраною сировиною. Саме завдяки співпраці нам і наших постачальників ми досягаємо високої якості продукту і забезпечуємо сенсорні характеристики нашої продукції, які відповідають найвибагливішим очікуванням наших споживачів. Основним компонентом є соняшникова олія, постачальник якої також українське підприємство. Які стандарти власне якості ми застосовуємо до продукції наших постачальників? Nestlé є міжнародною компанією, основним гравцем в бізнесі по виготовленню продуктів харчування. І, звичайно, підтримує рекомендації спілки виробників Global Food Safety Initiative – GFSI. Для того, щоб забезпечити високий рівень безпеки і якості своїх товарів, основні вимоги до постачальників включають, перш за все, стандарти безпеки харчових продуктів. Всі наші поточні і потенційні постачальники повинні мати діючу сертифікацію своєї системи безпечності харчових продуктів згідно з однією з рекомендованих схем сертифікації GFSI. До прикладу, це може бути FSSC 22000, або BRC, або IFC, або тощо. Кодекс поведінки постачальників. Ми маємо кодекс, який визначає етичні, соціальні, екологічні вимоги до постачальників. Це включає дотримання прав людини, справедливі умови праці та екологічну відповідальність.
How does Nestlé support Ukraine, maybe social projects?
Yeah. Again, if I rewind to February 2022, when we established our priorities, we said safety of our people is the first priority. Preserving the assets of our business is the second priority. But third, being relevant citizen in supporting the communities, in supporting the society. We did few things, maybe a few numbers for you to understand. We produce food. We know that our products are in high need. From the beginning, and we keep in doing it, we donate around 30 million Swiss francs of products, which is the equivalent of a little bit less than, let's say, 200 million meals that we donated. We can say that every Ukrainian has enjoyed at least 4 to 5 meals out of Nestlé products. The other thing that we continue to do is, of course, we see how important is to educate our kids, the kids to having good nutrition. So we continue to have our Abyatka Achuvanya program, which is educational program. And this program has changed in order to fit with the new ways of the schooling. And we also develop more kind of gamification of educational programs. Another very important program is to ensure that our young generation is prepared for to enter into the companies. We have our Nestlé Need Youth program that didn't stop despite the war. Actually, we continue. Over the last 2 years, we have taken around 600, more than 600, around 650 young talents, which are either part of our programs in terms of traineeship or apprenticeship. So they enter into the company, they stay with us for a period of time, then they are hired or they go back to their studies and they complete their studies. This is very important, for example, for an important installation that we have in Lviv, which is our MBS, Nestlé Business Service Center. We have 1,800 employees there providing services to Europe. So services which are financial services, HR relations services, social media and digital monitoring type of services. These are fantastic. Every time I go there, I really feel old because the average age is below 30 and they speak basically all the language of the world. It's impressive. And there are 95%, actually I would say 98%, they are Ukrainian. So there's a lot to leverage there as well. But let me complete with something that we are now in terms of supporting the society, something that we are really proud recently. We have started already 2 years ago to cooperate with Superhuman.
Yes, and, rehabilitation center.
Yes,
yeah.
with 2 rehabilitation centers, particularly Superhuman and
Unbroken.
They are both located in Lviv. Rehabilitation starts with mental rehabilitation and then physical. So we are supporting them with important donations. I would say in the area of just short of $1 million that we have donated between the two over the last 2 years. We will continue to do it. We prefer to call them heroes. We want to take back them with us. And, or we want them to go back to the labor work. And we know that it's very difficult for them after having spent a certain period of time on the front line. So we have a special program that our team has developed, and they are just great, on how to help the mental, we'll say, rehabilitation, so that our heroes are ready to go back to a, let's say, normal social life. So I'm very proudly standing in front of our Ukrainian map. And of course, the map is celebrative of the 30 years of Ukraine, and we did it together. All employees added his own note here. So we did a kind of Vyshyvanka map together. And that was a very emotional moment because we built it together. Everybody contributed to build the 30 years of Nestlé in the Ukrainian map. Now we are in our office, and our office has a special conception. We try to replicate the map of Kyiv in our office. So as we are walking now on the water, where we don't have that kind of superpowers, but imagine this is Dnipro River. And you know, in Dnipro River, it's beautiful, and there is a left bank and there is a right bank of the Dnipro River. As you know, in Dnipro River, there are special places. For example, I love to run in the small island, in Trukhanov Island. I cross the pedestrian bridge, and here we go. You see, this is more or less our Trukhanov Island. Now we still see some equipment here, but this is a space where our employees can enjoy, can have time. They can have meetings, or they can enjoy their lunch, etc., with a little podium that we use from time to time for our team meetings. We continue with other type of description of the city. There are other places, you know, we want to really replicate the water, so we put a kind of vertical fountain. Like there are many fountains in Kyiv, we put a kind of vertical fountain over there. And we continue to walk on the river. Now, you know, there are many coffee places alongside the river, and many beautiful restaurants on the banks. Well, we have also this is actually our restaurant or our coffee place, where we show all our partners, our business partners, the machines that we sell, the Horeca and the out-of-home business that we have. And in fact, you see the variety of coffees that we sell here with the two key brands, Blondie, our local brand, as Nescafé, our international brand. So that's a little bit of in scale what we are able to sell here. But of course, we are a food company, so we need to test our products almost on a daily basis. This is our kitchen. This is where we use our products. You see, somebody left here something from the previous testing. Well, this is where we cook with our products, and this is where we taste our product. We sell pet care, we sell pet food products, and pets are very much welcome to our office. And we have special rooms for them, so where they can enjoy, they can relax, they can be fed, and they have their special space. But this is not where we put them, because they stay very close to their owners the whole day, and they enjoy, and they bring a lot of happiness, and they bring some moments of fun to all of us. And this is a very nice panoramic view of the Dnipro River. I said about pets, but kids are also very much welcome into our office, and this is some of the toys and so on that they can enjoy. PlayStation, I would say during the wartime it was very important for our employees to ensure that they know how their kids are and how if they are healthy and safe, and therefore that's why we welcome them here.
What benefits does exporting to European countries bring to Nestlé and Ukraine?
We heard our president, he said we should increase the level of finished products and stop exporting grains and metal, but more export finished product. Well, this factory is exactly doing that, is exporting more of finished products. And guess what? The shelves in Europe will be filled with products proudly produced in Ukraine. So under Maggi brand, or in Poland under Viniari brand, they will be spread all around Europe. And I can share a little secret. US has already shown the interest to understand what is unique in the production the way we produce the noodles in Smolehiv. So we may have also the possibility to export to the US.
What benefits does it bring to Nestlé company? Just here we're speaking about Ukraine in general and it benefits it bringing to us. But if we are taking in consideration that the companies are working under the great pressure right now, and how does the company adapt, I mean Nestlé of course, adapt to it, and what benefits does it bring to you just to exporting your products?
Yeah, well, there are two elements of this question here. The element of the safety overall, I would say from the beginning of the war, we learned how to continue to do business, but safety first. So we learn gradually how to move from physical safety to financial safety for our people, and now to mental safety. So you're mentioning the pressure of the war. Well, the pressure of the war has changed because now we know how to be physically safe. We have created the shelters. We know how to be sure that our people stay safe. But now we are focusing much more after 3.5 years on how to keep them balanced and mentally stable as well. For Nestlé, having the possibility to export, well, there is a business opportunity. Of course, because the products are produced here with a high level of quality and with a competitive price, we can export with and enjoying good margin, I would say. What is very important is that this factory has been built according to the R&D requirements. So our R&D has already developed a pipeline of products in the next 5 to 6 years. And we know that in this factory, it's agile enough and, let's say, flexible enough to absorb all the innovation that is coming. So this factory, that's why you were mentioning new lines to come. Yeah. These new lines will produce different types of products according to also the requirements of our R&D facilities.
What are your priorities for the next maybe 5 years here in Ukraine?
It's a spot-on question because, in fact, we just finished the presentation of our 2030, Destination 2030, as we call it, and our growth plan. Growth plan. So first of all, growth. We want to continue to grow in Ukraine. It's our priority. How this priority will come? Well, we think that we have still a lot of to do with our core business. We have not leading positions, for example, in confectionery, and we want to really clearly refresh our iconic local brand, which we have it for, I'd say, 20 years. So the focus will be on the core, as I said, but not only on confectionery, also on coffee, also on pet care. Pet care is a fantastic business, which we see growing, and we understand what are the consumer needs and the variety of the consumer needs. I was incredibly touched when I saw Ukrainians leaving their houses with their pets, not leaving the pets behind. So pets are really part of the family. Yeah. Growing the core, as I was mentioning, in these categories, focusing on iconic local brands. We have Svitoch, as I mentioned, but we have Mivina as well, and we have Torchin, our local iconic brands. Leveraging the power of our international brands, Nescafé, I can mention, but of course also KitKat, or I can go to Felix, Gourmet, Nan, Gerber, and I can keep going. Innovation is playing a very important role. So we will innovate according to the consumer needs. Innovation will come in terms of packaging sizes, in terms of making more affordable type of products, as well as completely different new type of concepts. We learn a lot how to be resilient during the war and how to find always way to recharge ourselves. Now, I think it's time for Ukraine not to talk about resilience anymore, it's really to talk about creativity, because Ukrainians have found a way always to cope with a new challenge and turn the page and find a solution for the new challenge. This is not just resilience, this is fantastic creativity.